What an incredible race. I mean, you had everything in this race. At the end, you had a bunch of underdogs fighting for the lead, like Matt DiBenedetto, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Dillon were in the top five. Jimmy's back in the top five. Bubba Wallace with a sixth place finish. We had a lot going on at the end there, which we'll eventually get to. But we also had a lot of good action during the race. We had a lot of good battles for the lead between Logano and Blaney, Elliott and Blaney, Elliott and Harvick, Harvick and Logano, Harvick and Blaney. We had a lot going on today. We had a lot of good battles. So really good racing overall today. Really, really entertaining race. If you don't see the flag in the back, yeah, he had a disappointing day. But still a really good race overall as a NASCAR fan. Joey Logano won the race. Late strategy call. There was a caution with about 6 to go for Ross Chastain. Logano, Byron, I believe, and DiBenedetto and 4 or 5 other guys stayed out at the end there with just a handful of laps to go. Ended up being 2 laps to go. Blaney, Bowman, a lot of other guys pitted, and it left those 6 or 7 out front. Logano was able to get a push from Stenhouse on the top to the lead. DiBenedetto made a very aggressive move to the inside of Byron. Byron tried to clear him or force him below onto the apron. It didn't work out so well. Byron got a tire rub. DiBenedetto got by for a second-place finish. There was absolute chaos. NASCAR on Fox is showing the replay right now as I talk about it. What perfect timing. But yeah, Logano was able to clear Byron pretty quickly. Byron tried to look outside and then quickly fell back in line. DiBenedetto went under there and just caused a bunch of chaos. Byron had a tire rub, smoke everywhere, guys making contact, more tire rubs. Crashed at the end of the race with a bunch of cars. You couldn't really tell who was in it. John Hunter Nemechek was having a good run. He was involved in it. Kyle Busch, Byron, I believe, Truex. There were a lot of cars involved, but ended up being a caution finish race. And I don't mean to be biased because I love Matt DiBenedetto, but I think if him and Logano or him and Byron don't make contact there, I think DiBenedetto has a great shot at the win. He's got a ton of momentum. Logano may be on the bottom. If he makes the right move, I think he could get side by side and maybe even clear him by 3 and 4 if DiBenedetto could have gotten the right move if he doesn't make contact with Byron. But other than that, great race, as I said, overall. You had a bunch of other different guys battling for the lead there. Elliott won stages 1 and 2. Logano ends up winning the race. But yeah, let's go through the results of this thing. Logano wins his first one of the season. He won the spring race at Las Vegas last year. I picked him to win this race. Yesterday I picked him to win, and he ends up winning today. So yeah, the first 2 races of the 2020 season are repeats of last year. Hamlin won the 2019 Daytona 500, wins the 2020 Daytona 500. Joey Logano wins the 2019 Pennzoil 400, wins the 2020 Pennzoil 500. So 50% on picks this year. Yay. Matt DiBenedetto with a really good run. You maybe think this was a strategy call, which it was, which was able to get him in that opportunity to go for the win. But he had speed all weekend. He was top 5 in practices. He was running top 10 the back half of the race. He had a really good car. That's basically a 4th Penske car. Penske cars run really well at Las Vegas, and he was showing it. So a very good run for Matt DiBenedetto. Ties his career high, finished at 2nd. Just a really good run for him and that team. Almost got Wood Brothers their 100th victory. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., a really good run. Brian Patty put him in position to be up front, leading laps. He led over 30 laps and was able to contend for the win there. Pushed Logano to the lead, which ended up pushing Logano to the victory, really. But yeah, we saw Stenhouse earlier, and I think stage 1 or 2 was leading with about 40 to go and stayed out until about 10 to go the stage. Or no, 20 to go in the stage. I don't know. You get my point. And ended up backfiring that strategy. But then late race, they pulled that strategy. There ended up being a caution, kept him in the top 5, and he was able to come home with a 3rd-place finish. Austin Dillon with a really good weekend. Earlier this weekend announced the name of his child that is due in the future. I couldn't tell you the timetable, but a very good weekend for him, a top 5. Chevy had a good weekend overall. The Hendrick cars were really fast. All 4 of them were running in the top 10 a good majority of the race. We obviously saw Elliott win the first 2 stages, lead over 70 laps or so. Bowman was catching up to Blaney at the end of the race, going for that top 5 there. Byron was up front. Johnson was in the top 10. Johnson ended up with the top 5. Those Hendrick cars and all the Chevys really were fast. That new body might be a very good thing for Chevy. This is obviously just one race in the season, but it's really good to see them succeeding and doing well. It'll be interesting to see how they do in the future. 5th place, Jimmy Johnson, as I said. 6th place, Bubba Wallace. That is a great run for him and that team. A great run for him and that team. Brad Keselowski, 7th. Kevin Harvick, 8th. Kyle Larson, 9th. Ty Dillon, 10th. This top 10 is freaking incredible. I love it. You got Austin Dillon up there in 4th. Ty Dillon in 10th. The two brothers getting top 10s. You got Bubba Wallace in 6th. Jimmy Johnson cracking the top 5. Matt DiBenedetto finishing runner-up. What a great freaking finishing results. 11th, Ryan Blaney had really good car, was fighting for the win there at the end. Unfortunate circumstances for that team, for how the race finished for him. Led 20 laps about. Boyer 12th, Bowman 13th, Buescher 14th, Kyle Busch 15th. Other than Truex, the Toyotas were irrelevant today. The highest finishing Toyota was Busch in 15th. Until Truex blew that tire, they weren't relevant today. Hamlin ran in the back most of the day. Kyle Busch ran 10th to 15th. Jones was completely out of the picture. The 95 was out of the picture. He had a hell of a save, though. But everything else about Toyota today, it was terrible. Daniel Suarez just ran out of power before the race even started. Toyota did not have a good day. Chevy had a great day. Ford ended up having a really good day. But Toyota, just not a good day at all. 16th, Corey LaJoie, really good finish for him. 17th, Denny Hamlin. 18th, Tyler Reddick. 19th, Cole Custer. 20th, Martin Truex Jr. 21st, Eric Almirola. 22nd, William Byron involved in that last lap incident. 23rd, Eric Jones. 24th, John Hunter Nemechek. He was having a really good run. Some strategy got him in the top 5. He was holding his own, and then that late race caution ended up messing him up. 25th, Kurt Busch. 26th, Chase Elliott. An incredible day for the 9 team. If that's a glimpse into the future, you look at today, that's a heartbreaking result for how good that car was on the long run, how many laps they led, the stages they won. But if that's a glimpse into the future this year, that's going to be a good team. They led over 70 laps. They were so good on the long run. A valve stem breaking caused that tire problem. That team, that is a heartbreaking loss, but they did get playoff points out of it, and I think it's a very good glimpse into the future if they can keep that car that good. 27th, Ross Chastain, another guy who's having a really good run before a late issue. Filling in for Ryan Newman. They updated him today. Newman has a head injury and will miss a few races. I believe they did not give a specific timetable, but it'll be interesting to see when he comes back and how well Ross Chastain will do filling in for him. 28th, J.J. Yeley. 29th, Brendan Poole. 30th, Daniel Suarez. 31st, Joey Gase. Go Joey Gase. 32nd, Quinn I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Huff? Tell me in the comments. 33rd, Christopher Bell was involved in an accident at the end of stage 2. He had a great save, though, as I said earlier. 34th, Reed Sorensen. 35th, Garrett Smithley. 36th, Michael McDowell. Had a throttle issue. I think a stuck throttle. Ends up finishing 36th. 37th, Ryan Preece. 38th, Timmy Hillis. Jimmy Johnson's getting interviewed on the post-race broadcast. I'm going to have to go back and watch that, but it really was a good race. I know a lot of people don't like Logano, and they're going to say, oh, this race sucks because Logano won. But if you're basing a race off of who won the race, why? That's a terrible reason to base if the race was good. It was a very good race. Lots of side-by-side action. Lots of great battles for the lead. 3, 4 wide. Those restarts were incredible. Aggressiveness by multiple drivers that we haven't seen. And then some underdog results, which are always fun to watch. But, yeah, fun race. Really fun race to watch as a NASCAR fan. So if you enjoyed the race, get ready for next week at Auto Club. We continue the West Coast swing. If you like this video, if you like NASCAR, leave a like, please. Subscribe to the channel for more NASCAR stuff, and share. That's a big one. Sharing the channel so more people can see it. Yeehaw.